Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today we are starting a new project. Well, I've been working on it, but I went and found a. Well, let me start off with a story here. For the last 2.5 years, I have been trying to figure out how to get my son a four-wheeler so that when he comes down to visit me, we can go riding and have something to do together as father and son. And it's not a whole lot that me and him have in common. And I'm just trying to invent a reason for me and him to have something to do together. And I'm not having very good luck in this. But the other day, I was on Facebook and started looking under four-wheelers, and I found one. Guy wanted $150 for it, and I knew it was going to be a fixer-upper, but I didn't think it was going to be that much of a fixer-upper. I don't know where the sun is. I think it's in y'all's eyes. But I went and got this four-wheeler here. I've got it covered up right now. I'll just give you an idea. The worst part of it is right here in the front. They don't have the front differential, and they don't have the CV axles, and there's a whole lot that needs to be fixed on it. So it's a four-wheel drive Yamaha 350 Moto 4x4. So then I got to asking a buddy of mine if he knew where there was any parts, because I was going to try to find some parts. And that one there on the trailer had the plastic with it. And I went to talk to a buddy of mine and asked him if he knew where I could find some parts. And he said, well, I've got one sitting here. Well, I asked him if he'd be willing to do a trade. So I traded him $1,000 worth of parts or stuff. I traded him my brand new Gauntlet 2 that I put the new wooden bison stock on that I showed you guys in recent videos, and a brand spanking new 12-volt/110 air compressor that I have never used. So I traded in both of them for this four-wheeler. But he also threw in this Polaris right here. Let's uncover this. It's a little chilly today. I think winter's coming. Let me get the cover off of it and show you. And this is a 4x4 also. But it's old. It's chain driven 4x4, and I don't know why the hell they stuck that piece of shit on there. I don't know why people can't leave stuff factory. What the hell's wrong with people? But anyway, this one don't have no plastic either. So that one's probably going to be parted out, and I don't know how many people's going to be interested in parts for that, but we'll see. If people are interested in the parts for that one, I'll probably go ahead and part that one out and try to recoup some of my money on this other one. Now, since I got, here's the plastic for the one that's on the trailer. And I was going to try to see if it would fit this one in here. Now, that one is a 350 Big Bear Moto 4 350. And you probably have to readjust the light in here. Let me turn my CSI off.
Flannery, yeah, he retired, moved back to LA.
These are exit wounds from my husband's back. This is the one that I've been working on, and it's only got 22-inch tires on it, but it needs tires. And I had to buy a whole bunch of stuff for it. The CDI box, I had to buy that. I had to buy the solenoid. It's still, I haven't got any of it yet. I just started getting all the stuff for it. A new carburetor. By the time I got finished buying carburetors for it, because I kept buying the wrong ones, two of them I can get my money back on, but I ended up finally finding one for it. I have the original carburetor, but parts are missing off of it. So, but this one didn't have no plastic on it either. Now the plastic off of the other Moto 4, it won't fit simply because this one has a radiator or a oil cooler on it here. The other one does not. So when I try to put the front fender on this hits the headlight. So I had to take the headlight thing out of it, but I want to put the headlights back in it. So it's either relocate this and I got to get a new cooler for it too. That thing's god awful expensive. I think that's just almost as expensive as the CDI box was. That CDI box was like $123. But we're probably going to go with a digital speedometer. So this is all going to change. Because I did get an extra one because I thought I had to replace the one on this one. Come to find out I didn't. So I have an extra speedometer I can put on this. So, but this oil cooler is busted right here. So I got to get another oil cooler, and I'm just trying to find parts for this thing. And this here, the shifter wouldn't fit on that because this part here was hitting up against the part that goes around over across here. So even though it's a 350 Moto 4, they're totally different. So the plastic on that one can't fit on this one. The only other option I would have would be to take everything off of this one and put it on that other frame that's on the trailer. But that's just an awful lot of work. You got to take the motor off, the rear end off, take everything and mount it, and I'm not even sure that they'll even mount. So I'm just going to go ahead and build this one. But I went and bought a new pitcock for it. I bought a new plug for it, new carburetor, CDI box, solenoid, a coil, because they had the wrong coil on it that wouldn't even mount up. They had it mounted up with one screw, so that's the wrong coil for it. All the brake cables, I had to buy all the brand new brake cables for the foot pedal and for the hand pedal. And I had to buy both of these cables for this right here for the front, which is a transition box right here. One goes in and two goes out. So when you pull one, it pulls both sides. So I had to get that. And I've probably, with the gun, the air compressor, and all the parts that I've had to get for this, I've probably got about $1,300 in this already, and don't have no plastic, and need to get tires and an oil cooler. So that's where we're at on trying to get something for my son to ride when he comes down to visit. Now the back tires on this thing, they seem to be pretty good. They're not dry rotted. But this one here keeps losing air. It's got plenty of tread on it. So this one here may be as simple as either changing the valve stem insert. It may be leaking around the valve stem, or maybe plug it. But the two front ones definitely have to be replaced. So that's going to be a salty one too. That's going to be like $260 for a set of 4. If I buy a set of just the fronts, it's going to be about half that. So I've got a project here that I wasn't prepared to get into, but it's worth it for me to have something to do with my son, something that we can have in common, because the first thing I told him is, now I got 4 4-wheelers sitting in my yard. He says, well, I want one. Well, little did he know that that was exactly why I was getting them, was to try to get enough parts to build one for him, and then I would just take and part out all the rest of it and sell it and try to recoup my money. Yeah, probably people think I'm crazy for trading my gauntlet and my air compressor for it, but for my son, it's worth it. I'm not going to cry over it because I'd like to have something to do with my son. But the one thing I wanted to ask some of my subscribers, if you guys have any of these parts that I have mentioned, like the plastic, for this one here is, let me go make sure so I don't tell you the wrong thing. I think it's a Y, let's see. It's a YFM 350ER, a 1995. So I don't know what the ER stands for, whether it's a body style or what, I don't know. But just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that I had to get for this bad boy. Let me see if I can show all that. Let's see here. I had to get a feeler gauge because the feeler gauge I have goes down to 008. I need a 003. So I had to get a new feeler gauge, new carburetor, new intake, new coil, new foot pedal cable, new handbrake for the rear brake, new brakes, new pitcock, owner's manual, key switch, CDI box, and I got this carburetor and it's the wrong one, so this one's going to have to go back. Solenoid, filter and spark plug and oil filter kit, the front brakes, battery, starter, and that was the very first carburetor I got for the one on the back of the trailer before I ended up getting this bike. So this one had less that needed to be fixed on it. So yeah, I've got counting the gun and the compressor, about $1,300 in this, and I ain't even got plastic and tires. So and we don't even know if it runs. It may not even run. I may have done all this for nothing. But if it is for nothing, it's not for nothing, because I can actually take all these parts, sell them online, and I can get all that money back. I don't want to do that, but that's worst case scenario. So it did have a nice seat. Yeah, it's got a crack right there, but this can be covered. But it's got a really decent seat on it. And it did come with this cover for the tank. But I don't have the rest of the plastic. Now, can somebody please explain to me how it is that the plastic is the very first thing that people lose on their bike? I don't get that. It's the most important part of a bike. I mean, the most important part of a bike, if you want something that looks good. Yeah, he could probably ride it right there just like that. Just stick the seat on it and ride it like that. But then you have mud all over you and everything else from the tires. So I just don't understand how it is that there are so many bikes out there with no plastic on them. I don't get it. Are there that many morons in the world that don't realize that that's one of the most important parts of a bike? Take care of it. This one here, I had to replace all the plastic on it, and that was like $600 for that plastic right there. And believe me, this bike will this bike will never go nowhere. This is gonna go to my son when I'm dead and gone. I just put a new toolbox on this one, and it's a real nice one. It had the lock on it, but I changed it, took that lock off of it. Who wants to carry around a key? And then I put these on there for like a Jeep hood. But yeah, I just don't understand how somebody loses something that important and that big. You know, that should go with the bike no matter where it goes. But people try to get away with something by giving you something that you have to go and spend more money to replace. So now here it's thrown on to me to have to buy plastic for this. And I can't find it. So I found a guy on the Big Bear group on Facebook, and he was trying to be shady with me, and I done been took on that Big Bear group once, and it's not gonna happen again. I pay my bills with PayPal, and you know, when I'm buying parts for these, and he wanted to try to steer me to another way of payment, so I can't get my money back if I have to open a case. So I just stayed clear of him and blocked him because he just wouldn't take no for an answer. And I said, look, man, you sound too shady. I don't trust you now, so I'm not going to buy this off of you. But if somebody out there has the plastic for this, let me know, man. Whether you want to donate it to the shop, it's for a good cause. Or if you want to do some trading, maybe we can do some trading. But that's where we're at on the project for my son, to try to get him a four-wheeler to ride when he comes down to visit. And we had to fix the choke cable. It was pretty locked up, so I was able to free it up somewhat. Over time, it'll get even freer. But this is the one that I want to rebuild. So that's why I bought that last carburetor, because it's got this same cover. And I'll just take the parts out of the new carburetor and put in this one, because this one's an OEM carburetor. Always stick with the OEM carburetor because they're always the best. So I learned that on that one right there, the hard way. So, but anyway, wish me luck on this project. Oh, and an update on my kidney stone. I'm waiting on a call from them now to tell me what time to be there tomorrow. They're kind of taking their time calling me. They're supposed to call me between 1 and 3, and right now it's 1:28. But they're supposed to call me and let me know what time to be there tomorrow for my last, which I hope is my last, surgery. And because I'm getting tired of pissing blood. So that's the update on my surgeries. That will be the 4th time we've went to this hospital. Tomorrow will be. So let me know, guys, if you guys got any of these parts. I'm interested in doing some wheeling and dealing with you. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.